Okay. Hajik makha sathar ko sexual reproduction of flowering plant. Reproduction gi kwadagi most important topic ni sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Ko chapter number 15 reproduction gi important topics ni. More than ko gi 7 previous question da yam toy na hangen bo question. Sige. Aduna sigi part se pollination cross pollination yam toy hangi. Adai magi flower gi pistil gi yekoi matang jo hange. Adai floral nangi whole yauriba lai gi part khudi makse khudi palakan da khoi labeling tawrakana diagram ye ko jo hangi adai nangi whole part even 2026 abo question je hangi ko sije yam toina frequently asking question da masi jo makha pole adai seed germination ni matang da pabe khoi gi sigi makha gi matang da epigel germination hypogel germination hangi adai monocot seed yekpa dicot seed yengba even adubo hangi aduna sigi makhada sigi reproduction gi makhada even asexual reproduction gi type like jagre dana hoji asexual gi budding fermentation regeneration adi the propagation even micro propagation bu lei ba adi parthenogenesis ka lei mam do moi all together loi mak question khudi ma hangba ya bu question ngatan along with high level question ni na khwai gi top most dum hang epigel hypogel germination seed germination matang dam hangi adagi seed ki how seed germination takes place adum hangi aduga sigi topic se aduna sexual reproduction of flowering plant de masi pujang khangge quite first ta magi complete flower ma hai taraga di magi floral nangi part da calyx auraba corolla auraba aduga androecium gynoecium pulap se yaw taraga di koi complete flower ma dum ching adai ta di nana khanga da je kari kai flower gi part hai ne ne flower gi part number 1 quite first sigi like ko ma yaw se da quite flower gi part da makha da yaw si sigi flower gi part si yaw that is called akoina kai ko hai kanda calyx coil sigi akoina group of sepals amamam je akoina sepal koi ko koina sigi to control my flower but semana magi lai sala ku matam mana ngakti sen bidoin to protection of flower during the bud stage hai aduna number 1 si na kai ko that is called calyx coil calyx adu calyx se akoina particular magi khoigi sepal mayam de pulla kana ne koina calyx am tha de group of sepal that is called calyx coil adu mai masu je green color ore photosynthetic pigment yaure nana khanga dab je aduga next mathang da lai na kai ko that is called corolla coil siniko si calyx hairo to question hang bali ko se calyx ona dum thoma ge ko aduga petals ha amamam je laina ma cha amamam je mai machu mare ko chromoplast awe chromoplast awuduna they have different color organ pink color sapayawi yellow color sapayawi tongan red color sapayawi sina hibiscus rosa sinensis okoi china rose ni koina ji lokhal jina noi like te awudu kokta aduna petals sina kai kora corolla hai ko group of petals du koina corolla kore yai ko aduna mai ju uses lai hange dum 2011 de dum hang ba hore question de aduna what is the function of calyx and corolla calyx hai na kai no hai kanda flower bud to magi flower stage to da magi during the bud stage mana mayon chong fu matam do adai da yam nouringai matam da it will nangi protect tawgodoi je mana nangi sigi calyx na it will protect the flower buds during the bud stage hai flowering blood to mana protect tawgini yomjala thambi tek ta kai da na thambi do aduna mai ma thawoi madam da kai da si corolla ji ma chu lai chromoplast awai ni ko during ko chromoplast plastic chawe adu chromoplast na koi tam do adu leucoplast chromoplast chloroplast an tawdi do adai da chromoplast or chromo di color yawe different pigment yawe ni adu na machu lai adu na kai da pollination matam da khoi gumba effect tawba adai insect gumba bird gumba effect tawba matam da even fragrance magi manam nungsin matam da mana mating pang to petals colorful and strong fragrance attraction of pollinator hai pollinating agent ma'am do mana attract tawba da mating pang even my function bo hangi ko aduna so question dum yawbane aduna ni aina kaino tawrami je aduna flower parts of flower jana khangi je quite first that is called calyx ni aduna calyx amamam je kai ko ba sepals ko aduga they are not directly involvement in sexual reproduction of flowering plant direct involved tawro kairo indirect involvement hai tare mo yaw da yadaba adubu sexual reproduction ni direct involved tawdre ko flower je sexual reproduction tawro kadoi ni aduni angiosperm hai tare ga di flowering plant ni angiosperm gi maru property hai tare ga di that seed is covering part of the nangi the fruit is the covering part of the seed adigi fruit tuna magi mahai duna magi maru du kup taraga di madune koina flowering gi maru eba kano property ma hai tara aduna next makada nang na yeng bai de yeng ko adudi direct involvement kaino si ni direct involve tawde ko sigi petals sine aduga sigi sepals sine group of sepal do kelip tore adu group of petals to koina corolla kore ko corolla jina pollinating agent attract tawda mana insect kumba bird kumba during the time of pollination they attract tawda sina re haire aduga sina it will control the flowering bud ko flowering bud to mana control tawre sima khabire ko next yai ko mathak da direct involve tawje ani jine sijine sigi part mayai thangin mayai gi sigi mayai je koi maton thangbo je koi na stigma haire maton thamje stigma haire si oren pollen nangi pollen grain changam du ne ko that is the stigma laire sigi asang bajina sigi longest part ne style haire aduga sigi makha na ovary ko manung na ovule lore ko manung na ovule lore ovule jina sit ola ka deni adu ovary jina kai ola ka diba fruit ola ka deni haye magi after fertilization ni matungda aduna sigi style dai sine stigma ne style ne aduga ovary ne sibu ko na pistil na ta carpel ko re pistil nut or carpel ko sigi stigma ne style ne ovary all together that is called pistil or carpel sibu ko na pistil na ta carpel ko sini ba ko na part of gynoecium hai gynoecium adi female gi part ne ba gyne that is female hai na aduna gynoecium gi part ne ba sin ko na that is called stigma ne style ne ovary de digi pistil do sini ko gynoecium gai ko na siam gynoecium part ne ba ko gynoecium part ne aduga sina ke dora androecium part ni ko sina that is kai no sina kai ko ra anther layer dana siga sang bina kai ko ba filament sina filament sigo chawm na ganu ko mayai da lai ba ko mayai da lai ba kangu ni ko na female part hai jina aduga male part si flowering part tam male part na kai no ha kanda sida lai si anther ni ko si anther ni aduga sina kai ko ra filament ko ra sang bina si filament ga anther ga pula kan na kai ko ra kanda stamen na ko ba ko na that is called anther ne filament ne pula ga stamen ko sini ba ko na androecium gi part hai do androecium hai do sina andro di male hai dana aduna male part ne sina that is the male part that should be the female part that is directly involvement of the sexual reproduction of flowering plant aduga indirect involvement na kana ko re ba calyx ne corolla simple sana khong ko ana flower da makhalani sure one mark tang ba ba bisexual flower hai bam ne aduga unisexual flower bisexual contains both stamen and pistil ko hibiscus china rose and masa adi male ga female ga ani mag yaudu na bisexual flower ko re ko flower amada kai guma male ga female ga part ani mag option bodo haibadi pistil gi pass yauba sigi pistil gi pass yauba aduga stamen gi pass yauba adi androecium ju gynoecium ju ani mag option bodo aduna kai ko re ba that is called bisexual unisexual di amatang yau tare contains either stamen or pistil papaya guma watermelon namda nang like to yau do ni du ni ko papaya and watermelon unisexual ai tadi contain either pistil lama ya pistil yau ga di nang stamen yau ga di pistil yau that means kai no kai da phange ba papaya guma watermelon da phange that is called unisexual bisexual ga unisexual khange ko with example kai ko bisexual contain both androecium and gynoecium haibadi both nangi pistil ne or carpel or stamen du ne male ga female ga part ani yau ga na kai ko re ba bisexual aduga unisexual hai ga na it contain only stamen natraga nangi pistil gi saru yau taraga di hadi stamen natraga pistil gi or either or ama yau taraga di madu ko na kai ko re unisexual ko all right sima gyan tai ko next sida yong germination of pollen and stigma hore yong ko haji laidu ji sana khang si diagram ge pahang bani na ko draw a neat level diagram of female part that is pistil do ye on hang taraga di si with diagram ko na the even labeling to boy na number 1 ana khang do ja sidai da stigma le ko si je stigma de ni ko stick to ro kana chang ko do nangi pollen grain do from anther to stigma para ka do ni horen pollination ana tama ka do ni pollination jina pollinating agent dar ka hoy cross pollination se pollination ana adai da sigi part se that is directly involvement to do ni ko female part ni ko gynoecium do ni ko si part se horen sidai da pollen grain lakto ni pollen grain do par lakto ni sang to ni napak ka do ni sang ko do ni sidai manung sang ko ni pollen tube sigi manung da aduga nangi chemotropism go to do ni chemical na induct to kanda mado sacking of pollen tube with the help of chemicals chemotropism ana koina control and coordination na yaw ni male germ cell do sang ko ni pollen tube sigi manung da aduga nangi sigi micropyle and sigi manung sang ko ni talaja and micropyle and gantor aduga egg siga fertilize over ma aduga pollen cell juga amana fertilize over ni but yam deeply oina kaisu hangde, they are not asking very deeply or yam thina detail oina class kano 12 ta hangba dumaina 11 da dumaina hangdo natte ko aduna yam chaurakpa khara da khangalore ko aduna sigi part ma khangani si pollen tube tu ni ko pollen grain sangmum du bo koina pollen tube tu ni pollen tube tu ni mol male jam cell du jang ko ni pollen grain amada male game ka yawi an yawre ko pollen grain hai du ne ba nang krai da yawde ba anther da gi ne ba anther du gi manung da bilob structure oi adugi manung dagi nangi sidagi anther du dagi chang ko ni sidagi pollen grain no mature kanda adu moi mature kanda paisila ko ni sida ma si chang ko ni sida adu kana si chang ko ni si part ma khambiro ko khwai first si polar cell ko si mai ma de yoy cell ni polar nuclei na ta polar cell ko si ma khangani adu si mai ju na egg ko si ma khambirani adagi antibodial cell adagi synergic kind of maming yom doi tholi mamnu de yawi ba nangi nuclei ka oi 8 nuclei yawi ha ko ni magi particular gamete ka oi 7 gamete yaw taraga ju foreign city di samna duin adu duna masigi topic sima yam detail oina khangu da jai ko sima hana yek pa hibirani phajana next yo seida magi sexual reproduction magi fertilization kamai to yin another content of pollen grain is out ni pollen land on stigma pollen grain do from anther to stigma both pollination ko idana pollen grain je male part ni krai de yawre tu si je sida yawi ba sigi anther je sigi manung da ni ba pollen grain yawri anther ji manung da ni ko that pollen grain is concentrated inside the anther adi pollen grain do pollen tube sigi manung da manang pollen grain do sigi manung da yawri anther ji manung da si bilob oi doini si adu manung da yawri ba pollen grain je mana paithora ni mature kana adu kanda sigi manung changi doini changudini adu ni bo pollination hai pollination hai same product adi same pollination cross pollination makha dong tong ji ko but pollination adi sini hana khambiro ade tadi sigi manung da ka yawre pollen tube yawri ni se da pollen tube sini sona kan yawri micropyle along the changdoi ni sona kini sona chalaja en ko ko micropyle along the changdoi ni ma aduga egg tu ga amana fertilize tawdini aduga pollen grain amada male gamete ka yawa an yoy ko pollen grain contain two male gametes se amana sida fertilize tawdini ngasagi egg tu ga aduga polar cell do polar nuclei na ani lei do aduga mu triplet tricks and on go dini aduga endosperm ola ka doini si ana contain ma khango ko sima next simare adagi si ja hatan yengo anther contain pollen grain anther du gi manung dani ko pollen grain joy do anther du gi manung do pollen lands on stigma da lai stigma da napani stick tower ni ko nappa layer ni ko pollinating agenda ka oi be da ka cross pollination ni pollinating agenda ka oi ga harakan but kana se pollination da ka oi de kana makha dam ta ni gi to wodu bu siana khangi ji pollination du khangi ko the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma that is called pollination just pollination han khangi de aduna a tube grows out of the pollen grain adune koina pollen tube hai pollen tube hai that is called mana si stick tawre ko pollen grain du paisale ko that is called pollination le na ade stigma ji manung da si stigma ni si ma ba ji bu stigma ko re si gi jaga ji style ko re ko sina ovary ko idana ovary manung da ni bo ovule yois ovary ji manung da ni ko sai to ina ovule ni dira ovule jina foreign sit ola ka doi ne ba ovary jina fruit on gi doi ne after fertilization ni matung da aduna male gamete travel into the ovule male gamete so ovule manung da changa ne tu seida ni ko chang ko doi je seida male gamete change tu male gamete change pollen tube si manung change ko pollen tube si manung da so the direction no nate so na kan da phaire change so ne micropyle and hydro micropyle and chang ko doi adu micropyle and the pollen grain amada male gamete ka yawi ani yawi dana pollen grain amada male gamete ani yawi ba aduna bu horen double fertilization la ko ni ba am business sigi egg siga fertilize to garni aduga twice and chairman ko seida aduni ko embryo exist kan la ko rijina aduga sidaida ama lemhori ba pollen grain amana sida egg siga fertilize to garni aduga lemhori ba amaduna siga fertilize to garni aduga sida twice and chairman aduga sina kai ko form to ne ba endosperm hai endosperm duna nutrition supply to dine ko embryo exist endosperm will supply nutrients to the embryo exist aduna ne bo hingmangam de pambi gi maruduna kuine hingmangam de do aduna nutrition supply to dine aduga polar cell correction polar nuclei ani yaw de ni manungda polar nuclei jiga na thagi male gamete amaga fertilize to doi ne ba yare dana aduga sigi egg to ga mu thagi male gamete amaga fertilize to norni twice and semani that will form embryo exist aduga sigi amma lemhoriba male gamete amana thrice end form torani that will form polar cell or polar nuclei aduga endosperm form torani thrice end yaiko sini ba point lakadido aduna male gamete travels to the ovules male gamete and female gamete adu fertilize torani aduga zygote torani multi division torani adu kan masa polakadini fertilization tori male gamete tuga masagi female gamete tuga masagi egg tuga fertilize tore aduga the fertilization tore aduga zygote form tore after formation of zygote masagi lady ma'am loi ken bidoini ba masagi sepals petals ma'am loi ken bidoini aduga ovary become fruit aduga ovule become kai koreba sit on gadoini gyan tai ko aduna sexual reproduction in flowering plant da hanjana nu haire aduna siradi detail ni haije masagi enter daina masagi stigma da paisala gadoini ko aduna pollen tube manung da sperm cell natraga nangi haziki male gamete to sanga kadoini haziki pollen tube manung da si manung da check ka tawuni chemotrophism aido chemical ama introduce tore adu chemical na maram orga pollen tube manung di yamkan ni e aduna to reach nangi pollen grain towards the nangi ovule do yongno hona matam da mana mating pang gadoini aduna the pollen grain enter to stigma containing generative and tube cell seda change mathang change seda ek to the pollen tube penetrate to the ovule through the micropyle and the power sagni mathak tuna chalaza and kawi sina kanina chalaza kawi adugo sona kani makhajna micropyle and kawi micropyle and nu chang kani hoi detail oina si khang dazu kuspai de micropyle chalaza it doesn't matter but habet khang bam de kawi habani one sperm fertilized the egg to fertilize tawrani nakai do nang ngasai gi se yaw matam da yaw tu sinatra si ovulary dana the 1 2 3 lere the 1 2 3 lere 1 2 3 lere bako adu si pollen tube sange dana sanga ka nang thai gi si gi da sanga ni adu male gamete amana si ga fertilize tawre ne ba si gi mayai jiga egg tu ne bako adu male gamete amaga adu male gamete pollen grain amada male gamete ani yawe hai dana adu male gamete amana si da twice and on grain ni dana seida ama fertilize tawre ni twice and all ani ko adu another male gamete na si fertilize tawre ni dana adu di thrice and all ko that will form kai form tawne ba have the endosperm sina kai ko ba embryo form tawduni embryo just ma aduna yo micropyle change one sperm fertilized an egg forming the zygote form tawrani sigi jaga da aduna while the other fuse with the two polar nuclei forming the endosperm to si hayatu aduna ano lemhori ba do another male gamete na masagi polar nuclei or polar cell go fertilize tawrani aduga kai form tawrene ba endosperm no horen masagi embryo exist natraga zygote to aduda nangi nutrition supply tawdori ne ba adu matang khambiro yare that is adu last ka do re sit ko form tawni nanga se testa segment ga hedo khoina integument adu sit ki coat se sit ki makudo aduga endosperm form tawre aduga embryo form tawre asagi twice and they will become embryo exist embryo form tawre aduga endosperm du nanga sai thrice and du form tawre dana aduga sit ama form tawri ne sai gan tai ko masagi si gamete yawi mong je khambio ko si polar nuclei ani yawam bani ko polar cell aduga ngasagi male gamete namga changle thrice and form tawre dana aduga ngasagi female gamete nam laire seda female gamete tuga polar cell duga nang ngasagi male gamete ama chang puduga fertilize tawre polar nangi concept ta khanga dabje its pollen grain ama da male gamete ka yawi ha kan ani yawi its pollen grain carry male gamete two male gamete pura paine ba magi double fertilization tawiro amana se tawre amana se tawre ade tadi double fertilization tawre dana yes amana thrice and dana that will form endosperm form tawre sine embryo zygote embryo exist form tawre dana next question yenga je 2 what are flower considered as the reproductive part of the plant 2016 exam flower part do yoido reproductive part flower that considered a reproductive part of the plant because they contain specialized sexual structure male and female sex organ stamen and pistil yoiko stamen is the male part ni pistil is that is called female part amana androecium ni amana gynoecium ni that produce gametes facilitated pollination fertilization and form the seed to new plants moi degi fertilize tawra matung nani anoba seed ama form tawra kanda anoba plant ama horei aduna ni flower considered as a reproductive part of the plant hai reproduction da plant the reproduction of flower is very important moi degi ni macha masu kokuna tawre nyam seed ku thorei aduna draw sima hangini flower level question kya yang yo 1 2 siung function of flower gi function hangi reproduction they have to union of male and female gametes so ibare na certain bird insect pollination matam flower provide nectars agi lahi ti dana to imam je nectar do connection to collect to la kuma tam ni pollinating agent ma'am do paisa lai do koi lahi do law la kuma tam mention one function of calyx for la ai ngai gre calyx na kadori flower bud ma'am do mana control to we corolla na kadore adu di machu lai bani na pollinating agent ma'am do attract to the mateng pang hai da na madu khum ya re give one point of difference in pollination and fertilization pollination first we get ko fertilization second ko pollination first that fertilization second pollination is transfer of anther to stigma do ni pollen grain from anther to stigma that is called pollination fertilization ai gana male duga female game tuga ani pun budu ko na fertilization ko idana and the pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma whereas fertilization is the fusion of male and female gamete that is called fertilization male female game moina last to do ni adu first na pollen grain do ma transfer to ko do adu pollination first adu fertilization second next expected question da nana to we ide germination of pollen and stigma do yakiro pollen on stigma ko pollen do stigma da tarak mong mo to hajikta aina pistil yekhi do no me yakiro aduga unisexual and bisexual ba unisexual adi kari ba aduda flower do da kayumba both androecium gynoecium pullap yawaga na bisexual hayani aduga amatang yawaga na unisexual kai da pangi watermelon no papaya go no pangi hydro aduda masima khambiro aduna sima pabiro ko phajana sima question the expected question analysis to pabio ko previous khange expected kha pabio adubu low chances ni 2027 da ni maram di 2026 ta flower gi matang do phajana hangi bani na 3 marks ta adubu dum paro define double fertilization ang sai do the process of using a male gamete with diploid secondary nucleus and sagittal cell to form triploid double fertilization ko amana twice and cheme diploid cheme amana thrice and cheme triploid cheme amana endosperm oire amana embryo exist to all kare that is called double fertilization tore its pollen grain contain koi pollen grain under two male gamete jaure two male gamete tu na ngasai gi egg to fertilize to ma amana pollen nuclei polar cell da amana fertilize to ma that is called double fertilization sima paro ko next how does fertilization take place in flower fertilization ni kamai tawi ko the male germ cell called pollen grain comes to the stigma pollen grain ma'am do sangani stigma manung da it enters to the pollen tube to reach the ovary tana yauna na ba ovule du manung sang ko de ni ko it unites with the female gamete present in the ovule female gamete egg to ga fertilize orani twice and all ani these fusion of germ cell fertilization give rise to zygote aduna madu wega zygote semani adai magi embryo exist form to ko dido which is capable of growing into new plant adagi ne ba ko new plant ama form to ko dido 2 marks ani or 3 marks da adum khumba yare ko sima phaja pabiro asagi flower ki pato khambio ko androecium gynoecium calyx corolla nangi sepals petals maming masa maming du ya atra khanga lore biological science always play on language khanga di atra do khang taraga you can easily write in examination whatever nang cham chapter ni yama luba chapter jo muna teba chapter number 13 da gina chapter number 19 bok ja aruba chapter am tan na teba aduna 28 marks out of 28 mark wai phang na hona view try to view nang physics chemistry du thoram bayai ko physics chemistry da khara weak we ba ngang yoram bayai to budu biological science lui habu du di amu yaudre aduna alai ba topic nga to we ni na biological science 28 manung da 28 loi phang bayai concept phajang khang loi life process da gi holo aduga nangi our environment bogo laiba tamakadri ba chapter number 13 da gina chapter number 19 bok ja da aruba topic amata yaude aduna aruba topic yaudabnina even class we are not insulting you class 7 8 fo da phajan tamibo matam da loi ma khangam ne nan sigi biological science topic sidi I proudly say to you aduna yam laina khangba ya doi ni na moi bogi capacity na khangba ngamba capacity oi bani na nang da why should you can easily capture all topic yam laina capture to ngamba topic na to oi ne ba aduna yam lu na hen na khajan biu practice khara to biro ojana ngang udu mun na tabiro adu kanda mathang practice to matam da loi ma khangba ya ne aduna topic khudi mo se amta la la bida examination loi to ra halak piu next pollination again ngai do pollination ai ta di kai no pollen grain hai the male gamete ni ko from anther to stigma pollen grain je from anther to stigma paisila ko je koina pollination correct siung ai definition pe pollination ai kai no pollination ai ta di transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma yoko sigi pollen grain anther self pollination ai ba cross pollination self pollination ai no transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma ko anther to stigma di pa do but same flower oi ba ya that same different flower of the same plant oi ba aduna self pollination different flower di oi ba but same plant di oi ba khudam moina hai ge sida pollen grain lai re ko pollen grain sida anther dai ni stigma si anther ni khala ji stigma da pa chale flower mak tani dana that is called self pollination but sigi anther dana sida pa chala ta ko si self pollination ko sini bo autogamy hai do autogamy autonomy or autogamy nangi autonomy self pollination genogamy ko mamin ji khang da jai ko autonomy that is self pollination khang bi ro yare sidi class 11 12 yaw bani adubu sima khang da taraga ju ko genogamy ji khang da taraga ju self pollination hai ta di transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma with same flower be but different flower of the same plant be that is called self pollination variation layer right just like asexual reproduction akoi na hagi do there is no variation among them hydro aduga chamana genetic sequence chamana ne self pollination bu thok maru ji chamana ga ne there is no variation among them ko same genetic factor oidune ba but cross pollination pu thok di variation like ne hadi noyum da hoba hinau duga akoyum da hinau jiga mai variety manaram da ba yai mangifera indica nga to oitara ga ju the variety should be completely different or ba yai noi no yam chaw ga yam thum bo ba yai khoi no pisak pi ga sam chin bo ram ja aduna ani gi variety do manada ba do ani do magi lei do paira ga sakitara ga di maduni bo cross pollination ai do adi cross pollination da di transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma in different flower of the same species but same species or different flower but another plant or but same species or that should be another plant but the same species or I know do na atopa kaino da hoigi mango do na apple do the pine have na tebo ko but siregi pollinating agent na pa sa letu siong si pa sa letu pollinating agent na pa sa la kanda lakta ra ga di madu ko na cross pollination ko re adu ne bo ko na aduna khango aduna cross pollination sida cross pollination ani ko cross pollination have sina self pollination cross pollination ai ta di sina genogamy ko re aduga autonomy ko re sina genogamy or autonomy they have lot of pollinating agent mamin loi thong bai aduna self pollination ga cross pollination khana bai ta di cross pollination adi atopa flower ma transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma to another flower but the same species another plant that should be the same species or another plant but the pai do ni aduga same species ti oigadaba madu bo khoina cross pollination variation like da lai ni cross pollination variation like ni ko genetic manipulation no manaroi dana aduna genetic sequence to khana ba lakane ba cross pollination the variation like ni self pollination like da whereas lairoi self pollination doesn't have any variation but exactly genetically constituent oini but whereas cross pollination genetic constituent manaro sima khambiu ko aduna tambay aduna mature flower mature to pollinating agent da ka oido cross pollination ni pollinating agent da ka oi ko pollinating agent ko wind oi be insect oi be bird oi be water oi be they ko but whereas self pollination the pollinating agent da ka oi da lairo they are not requirement of any pollinating agent whereas cross pollination require pollinating agent can but you have the difference between cross pollination and self pollination the iba ya person ko ai haije aduna pollen grain do anther to stigma para ka doini aduda another flower odini another plant odini but same species to ga doini aduna cross pollination eko self pollination ai ga na same flower do be ko adugo same plant da leiba top flower am do be adu definition ji chalo da yare da na the process of transfer the portion of the pollen grain from anther to stigma that is called pollination self pollination it is the process of transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of the either the same flower or the another flower of the born on the same plant da yauba atop flower mo jai da na maduna same aduna kai ko self pollination sima khambira ni da na next cross pollination it is the process of transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma flower to the stigma born on different plant of the same species ni managadam ni ko haino mangifera indica organ menikira indica oro ko hibiscus rosaceaensis organ no hibiscus na to oibiro aduga pisum thatai bam organ pisum thatai bam to oro pi plant do hawai therapy lai organ hawai theranga to oibiro different species oitaraga different variety oitaraga but genus and species is completely same organ aduna cross pollination require the aid of the external agency darka oiba cross pollination da di like wind gumba water gumba insect kumba, bat kumba, they require external agency for the pollinating agent. But whereas self pollination da bra, no. The external agency may be a biotic, ko thawai pan the biotic insect, bird, bats, snails, and other animals. Cross pollination brings about genetic recombination and produce variation too. Here point out too. Genetic recombination lani variation puthokadra puthoni. Atopa variety puthokpe abra puthokpe ani. Makhala magi aduni hybrid ka puthoi. Ko you can produce hybrid from this variety. Self pollination nang ngamudra ngamoy. Self pollination genetic sequence manabra manani. Cross pollination managadra manaroi. Cross pollination producing different variety. Atopa magi mawong marin tabam puthokujai na taram puthoju kuswai ko. Ko hana tin jaramba hino pambi oitaraga ju anobo cross pollination tawgibdagi tin jaraktaba yam phajaba aduga chabadu jam hawba yam delicious oibo oyapa yayebo ko but oiraktab jai ko aduna combination variation am puthorane and it also increases adaptability to variation bu laitaraga de adaptation lairan. If the plant or any organism have variability, they have the capacity to adapt any external